rivers or streams to push water uphill. Without depending on gas or electricity, the ram pump can lift water to an upland reservoir, providing clean, cheap water for household use, for raising livestock, small-scale agriculture, and aquaculture. AIDFI's ram pump solution provides a full social package that includes community consultations, organizing local water associations to manage generation and distribution, and training the villagers for maintenance of the system. The ram pump has turned communities from barren to green, improving health and sanitation conditions and enabling livelihood. Since receiving the Ramon Magsaysay Award in 2011, AIDFI's innovative technology has been adapted elsewhere in Asia, including Japan, Cambodia, West Timor, Nepal, Afghanistan, and farther on to Portugal and France, and Mozambique and Cameroon in Africa. In fact, it has gone all the way to Colombia and Mexico. And AIDFI is still innovating, most recently by manufacturing some parts of the ram pump from recycled plastic, leaving green footpaths everywhere it goes. What began in the Philippines has continued to cross oceans. These are only 3 of over 330 amazing leaders that have made a difference in Asia and beyond. From them, we draw courage and hope. In 2009, the foundation created the Ramon Magsaysay Transformative Leadership Institute to expand the impact of the awardees and their transformative solutions. Because we live in a world still hungry for solutions to social inequity, made more compelling today by massive migrations of poverty-stricken peoples fleeing from restrictive regimes. We all need to draw from the human well of compassion, resilience, creativity, and that deep desire to secure true freedom for future generations. 60 years ago, we found a name for the torch lit by Ramon Magsaysay: greatness of spirit. May it continue to light our next 60.
No one pays much attention to the ordinary until they restore democracy, feed the hungry, save the seas, or protect the dignity of a people. For how can one see greatness in the unassuming, the soft-spoken, the frail, or the humble, if it's measured by the usual yardstick of success? The man whose name now bears Asia's most prestigious award seemed ordinary by all means, except that even as a mechanic, he already had the sense to improve the lives of his fellow men. What is it about ordinary men and women who turn their back on a comfortable life so they can clean up oceans and light up villages? How can they know that what they fight for will make governments sit up and listen? What moves these ordinary people to do extraordinary things? It's called greatness of spirit. It is celebrated every 31st of August by the Ramon Magsaysay Award Foundation as a fitting homage to the legacy of the Philippine president who was once called Man of the Masses. He believed that the little man is entitled to a little bit more of everything, and that no one's dignity should ever be compromised. Today, over 300 ordinary men and women have displayed the same conviction and courage to transform society, and thus have been honored with the Ramon Magsaysay Award. For protecting fundamental human rights, for encouraging the poor to become asset creators, or for just playing music that colors the mind. And while the award can boost ordinary men and women to celebrity, many of the winners use it to enable them to work much harder for the communities they serve, because they know that the award is not about them, but about the solutions they make. That's how ordinary men and women become extraordinary.
Each year, millions of people around the world are being displaced by war, natural disasters, or scarcity of resources. They have literally lost their homes. Here is an ordinary man doing extraordinary things for the peoples of Southeast Asia, bringing about transformation in unusual ways. His organization, trusted by global funding agencies, has been active in providing much needed aid to refugees and the uprooted from Myanmar, the Philippines, Laos, Hong Kong, Cambodia, and Vietnam. These include psychosocial support, literacy and health services, and infrastructure building, among others. He has been doing so for more than 40 years. Stephen Munsey, through his greatness of spirit, has become not only an inspiration to others, but also a defining symbol of the triumph of will, of vision, and of heart to make Asia a better place for the common man. In doing so, he himself has redefined what home means. It's not four walls and a roof. It's where your heart is. In a period where fake news, megaphone politics, information war, and do-it-yourself media can be easily manufactured, they courageously produce factual and credible documentaries with thoughtful use of images that focus on Indonesia's underreported issues front and center. They have committed to the values of accuracy, transparency, and humanity, making journalism a cornerstone of reliability and public trust, and still able to connect with a diverse audience. Watchdog, through their greatness of spirit, harnesses the power of moving pictures, placing facts and expert opinion in the center of public discourse to empower Indonesians by giving them access to what is arguably the hardest to come by nowadays: the truth.
Testing mic test. Hello. Sound. Testing. Testing mic test. Hello. Test mic. Test mic. Test mic. Hello. Sound test mic. Hello. Sound test mic. Hello. Sound test mic. Test mic. Hello. Sound 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 test mic. Hello. Test mic.
transformation in a once desolate town in the brinks of collapse. Together with fisher folks in the community, they decided to take action on what is important to them: their livelihood and their shared marine natural resources. They acted collectively in bringing back a verdant mangrove forest along their shorelines. They took over the protection of their seas. The results of their collective action could be best described as a miraculous rebirth. The waters are once again teeming with resources, and the people's quality of life greatly improved. Steering this proverbial boat is a humble fisherman, Roberto Dodoy Balyon. Through his greatness of spirit, Dodoy has proven that extraordinary leaders can come from the most unexpected of places. In Islam, the word akuwat means brotherliness. And in the words of the Prophet Muhammad, if one has a loaf of bread, half of it rightfully belongs to a person who has none. An innovative man used this purest of concept to achieve his vision of zero poverty. Thus was born Akuwat Islamic Microfinance, Pakistan's largest microfinance institution. For the past 2 decades, it has provided zero-interest loans to over 3 million families, irrespective of their creed, caste, color, or gender. What began as a lending program has since expanded to a full-service institution that provides medical, financial, and psychosocial aid to the marginalized. Behind all these transformative programs is Dr. Muhammad Amjad Saqib, who is paving the way for the dream of poverty eradication in Pakistan. Through his greatness of spirit, he reminds the world what it truly means to be brothers. Scientific pursuits, the accumulation of knowledge through experiments and data gathering, are about discovering solutions to many of the problems we face. In Bangladesh, a woman of science has been leading the charge in finding medical breakthroughs that have improved the quality of our lives. These include key roles in developing vaccines for cholera, typhoid, and E. coli diarrhea, and more recently, vaccine trials for COVID-19. She has built infrastructures and institutions that continue to spark students' interest and motivation in learning and pursuing scientific discoveries in health and medicine. Her work, however, is not limited to the laboratory. She is active in community engagement, clearly articulating specialized knowledge on vaccination to lay people in the community. She spearheaded various mass inoculations in high-risk areas such as slums and refugee camps, saving the lives of literally millions. Dr. Firdausi Quadri, a Bangladeshi scientist, combined her brilliant mind with her compassionate heart to use science to inspire and ignite action for the common good. That to us is greatness of spirit.
By 2018, 330 laureates will have been honored with a golden medallion. It bears the likeness of the leader who inspired the awards in 1957, only weeks after the tragic plane crash that took his life. Ramon Magsaysay is possibly the most fondly remembered and loved president of the Philippines. His concern for the welfare of Filipinos, especially of marginalized sectors, is legend. One of the world's outstanding leaders of his time, Ramon Magsaysay's legacy is captured by the phrase greatness of spirit, a concept that is intangible, uncontainable, and inherently powerful. Greatness of spirit is bigger, deeper, and farther reaching than any material.
Test. Test mic. Test. Test.
Education and sources of income. Clearly, lifting them from extreme poverty would make a significant difference in the overall quality of life on our planet. This is the task to which the Ramon Magsaysay awardees have devoted themselves, and their solutions have been astounding. In Bangladesh, its poor had inadequate access to credit, a major hurdle to the fulfillment of basic human needs. Hence, usury rates were the norm. Especially in agriculture, such exorbitant rates crippled investments and further disempowered the poor. In 1972, a bright young man named Muhammad Yunus returned to his city of birth. Armed with a PhD and a desire to contribute something meaningful to his newly established country, he set up a rural economics program to do research in the surrounding villages. Later, Yunus developed a radical solution, the Grameen Bank project, to finance landless poor women. Grameen means village. It was meant to give microloans without collateral to the poorest segments of society. It bypassed the moneylenders, creating self-employment by bringing disadvantaged village women into an organization that they could understand and operate. Peer pressure and shared values worked to urge each member of the borrower groups to repay their loans on time. Back then, banking on the poor was a truly revolutionary idea. Its results were so surprising that it caught on and spread. Muhammad Yunus received the Ramon Magsaysay Award for Community Leadership in 1984, and years later, the Nobel Prize. What began in Bangladesh over 40 years ago has been replicated in over 60 countries in the world, proving that given credit, the poorest communities can be as productive as the rest. Oita Prefecture on the northeast coast of Kyushu Island was once Japan's gateway to the outside world. By the 1970s, Oita was a backwater, idling in relative poverty amid a nation rising quickly to wealth. But one man changed all this. In 1975, Morihiko Hiramatsu was elected governor of Oita. Revitalizing Oita became Hiramatsu's passion. He knew that certain regions had made a name for themselves by producing signature products. So why not encourage every community to devote itself to excel in a single product? Hiramatsu named his innovative development plan One Village, One Product, or OVOP for short. The prefecture's diverse communities competed with one another to select and perfect a product.
P-I-X-O. It's you.